After watching the film of Vandy, I thought, our team played as hard and as physical as we have all year. Defensively, definitely our best outing since we've been here. I thought we really did some good things and played well. Thought we started good again. We've, didn't always do that this year, and thought we had got off to a good start and got the guys into the game and played with a lot of energy, stayed positive, fought through the entire game, just didn't make enough plays to win it. Very proud of the effort. Need to continue to improve on the execution and making plays and getting the ball in the end zone when we have our opportunities. Looking forward to this week's game, another great challenge, playing a very good Georgia team on the road. Be another great challenge for us, a team that's led by a terrific quarterback, fantastic running back. They're a big physical, athletic team across the board. Be a good challenge, and looking forward to getting out there and playing again, getting back to this work this week and see if we can improve.
Mark, you get sort of a laundry list of injuries. What's the rundown of some of those guys?
Yeah, we're banged up. It looks like we should be better. I think Timmons should be better. No setbacks. He only played 4 or 5 plays. Darian should be back this week. Nate Willis, I think his knee, I don't think he'll be able to play. The rest of the guys, I think we're just banged up. We should be getting better. Trayvon is doubtful. Trayvon's doubtful. The rest of them we'll have to see. But, yeah, Trayvon doesn't look good.
Was it an ankle or something for Darian?
Just banged up with a knee.
Okay.
So.
What about Kevin Mitchell? Was he on that list?
Yeah, he's banged up, but he should be back as well.
How many injuries has he played through?
He's been beat up. It's tough, as y'all know, playing in this league, and he's fought through it. I thought Kevin did some really good things. There was one series maybe he was beat up on this past game where he didn't play very good, but the rest of the time he really had a pretty strong game. And that's a case where, again, we need to continue to develop some guys and be able to get some rest here and there.
Did you hear anything from the SEC about the targeting penalties, and is Eric out for the first half this week?
Yeah, the way I understand the rule is there is no debate on that. Once they eject him, he's out. So that once they go up to the booth during the game, if he makes that decision, then there's no arguing it. So I would like clarification, like always, as to why one is and why not the other. But that's all. Doesn't matter. I didn't get anything.
Mark, I know you still got 2 games to go, but has anything happened up to this point to change your thinking about what you need recruiting-wise for this program?
Yes, there are things that we knew all along. I mean, and the short answer is we need help at all areas, and I think we're going to continue to do that and recruit extremely hard. I feel very good about the way things are going in 14 and off to a good start in 15. So, makes me very optimistic about the future, and I think we're recruiting some great leaders, some great young men that will help our program.
Nothing's changed as far as what type of kid, or maybe you need more linemen? I know you talked
Well,
about playmakers.
yeah, we definitely, as you know, I mean, we need some more playmakers. I mean, we're having a hard time getting explosive plays. And, I think, really, if you look at the game, I think we had 7 or 8, and that's pretty good. And I think Neil's doing a great job with that. I mean, we know we need to improve offensively. Nobody's more frustrated than us, but he did create, I want to say 7 big plays, explosive plays. And, if we can get some more playmakers, that would help in that area. We need to continue to get bigger across the board. So we need some size, and really, we need defensively, we need to continue to get, you need to be good at all levels. I mean, we really need help up front, at linebacker and in the secondary. You need a lot of guys. We talked about that last week. with the versatility of this league. You got to be big and physical at times. You've got to be able to cover at times. So you got to be very multiple. Offensively, same thing. We need some O-linemen, and I think we're addressing some needs at some other positions, at wide receiver and running back and things like that. So I think tight end's another area where we need to get a little bit bigger.
Obviously, you guys have felt pretty good about keeping the 2014 class together. How is recruiting going for 2015 in general, just in general?
Very, very good. Yeah, I feel very good about it, really. I think a lot of good things are happening that way. You know, I feel good about the recruiting. I feel great about the leadership of the 14 class. I feel like hopefully there's some good news here in the next couple weeks that will give us some momentum for 15 and beyond. So I feel very good about that. And I think, when I talk to the recruits and a lot of players, people that we're recruiting, and just this last week again, I mean, we all get frustrated and want wins and losses and the whole deal, and that's the bottom line. But I couldn't be more proud of the effort that we gave. I think every person in that locker room fought like heck to get a victory. Just got to make plays and get better and clean up some execution.
Mark, how long does it take before you look at your roster and you say, okay, we've recruited to the point I've got athletes basically in every position that I need to turn this around?
How long does that take? You say it takes time, because I think you see the guys that are here right now that are freshmen. We've got some very good freshmen that we're doing the right thing by redshirting them, getting them bigger, stronger, letting them grow. I think if you look at a lot of teams in this league, and even look at Vandy and see Matthews, you know what I mean, who's a senior. I mean, you need to grow up and get better and put on some size and some weight and get used to playing. So I think you see our freshman class this year being very good. I think the 14 class is going to be a very good class. It's going to be a great class. And I anticipate those guys having a good impact on our program. Then you let them grow up a little bit, and you let them get a year older, and you bring in another good class on top of that, possibly a couple JUCO guys here and there, and you start putting together a very good team. So, it takes time. I've never said that, since I've been here. I never, and you're getting me here. I've never said, I don't like to do that. I want to win now. I want to win this week. I think we're putting together a good football team. I love their attitude and I love their work ethic. We need to be better. We need to be more disciplined. I'm not going to bend on those things. We're going to get better. We're going to get more disciplined. I like our locker room. We're improving. We're going to improve it next year, and we're going to improve it the year after that. So we're built. We're going to win. And I can't tell you when, but I hope it's this week. So,
Mark, some of the guys that have redshirted that you guys haven't played this year, are there any guys that have really improved or that have sort of?
I think the old lineman, Ramsey Myers is a guy that's a big, physical, nasty guy that we need inside. Is a guy that jumps out at me right away. Reggie Ment, again, a mean guy, big guy. That I like on the D line. So, those are, I think all of our linemen that were redshirting are going to be good players.
How tough is it to balance? I mean, you're recruiting and you can sell that, hey, we need help, as you can tell. I mean, you might be able to play right away.
Yeah.
But also you want to have redshirt guys for the future, and as you say, develop and make sure that they're ready to play. How tough is it to balance it when you're in a situation like this?
It is a balancing act, but I think sometimes some players understand that they need the red shirt and are okay with that. Some players are good enough to come in and play. I think you and I both know to say that you're going to field a whole team and win a whole bunch of SEC games with a bunch of freshmen is hard to do, but I think you could definitely sprinkle in some to make a big difference. I think you're already seeing that this year, the improvement, and now you put some more on top of that and let these guys grow up, and you have to find that balance.
Coach, you had Green Beckham 2 weeks ago, and then last week it's Matthews. Is it a relief to finally have not a big wide receiver to go up against?
Well, they are very big and very talented, but I think with Georgia, they're still very good, and they're getting healthier. They got Conley back. He played a little bit last week off an injury, but I thought, they're still a very good group. But the size, those are some big dudes.
Do you think after they, had an emotional loss like that, does that kind of play any effect in Saturday's game?
I don't know. I really don't. that was an extremely tough loss. Unbelievable to see the way they battled back and to take that lead and have an opportunity to win. That's what I was so impressed with, and kind of a fluke play to lose it, but to see them battle back. We had a chance to watch it on the way back. It was on the bus. We had satellite, and we're actually watching that game, and just watching it live and then watching it on film. Unbelievable effort by that team, and you see the leadership with Murray and the talent around him to come back and take that lead and really, should have. I'm sure they're sitting there kicking themselves. Should have won. So.
Mark, what has the experience been like this year as the struggles sort of mount here, and to see what your former place of employment is doing, and that they may win a national championship?
Well, the first part of that, I'm very proud of being a part, just a cog in the wheel down there to help them get to that point. And I think it's a lot of fun for them because I know so many of the coaches and the players, and just very happy for them. And I hope they continue to win. I'm sure they will. And so very, very proud of being a part of that and helping them get to that point. I think hats off to them because I think they even took it to another level, and are doing a great job. And so very happy. And for me, that's no reflection of this. I couldn't be, I love what I'm doing. I love where I'm at. I tell our players that I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And that's the truth, because I think it's a great challenge, and I'm very optimistic about the future. You guys have heard me. It's like a broken record. I mean, it's tough, and I get frustrated, and, Sundays are hard sometimes, but once you get up and get to work and get going, I love it and full of energy and ready to go. So one doesn't correlate with the other, really.
When the defense has been playing so well for you guys the last couple games and the offense is still sputtering, how do you keep the locker room? I mean, does it ever boil over where one feels like the other isn't?
No, we're a team, and I thought the offense played extremely hard. If they didn't, I'd be very upset. I thought we played very hard. We're on either side of the ball, and in special teams, we're not always the smartest, and we don't always execute everything perfectly. But I thought for a team effort, that was as good an effort, and the attitude was right, and the fight was right, and that's something that I'm proud of, and happy to see. I think you're starting to see more accountability on this team as guys understand us and start, understanding that, whether it's off the field or little things, it all matters. And I think we're starting to get some leadership. We need more, and more accountability with everything that we're doing.
Coach, now that you've had a pretty large sample size, what is the most impressive part of this team?
I'm sorry, team.
What is the most impressive part of this team, would you say, right now?
Well, I just looked to last week, and I thought, again, under some tough circumstances with the wins and losses not going the way we want it to be, I thought our preparation was right, and I thought our attitude was right, and I thought our fight was right. As a coach, you always look to do things better. You always look to execute better. We could all call plays better sometimes, myself included, in decisions and all those things. You try to do the best you can, but at the end of the day, I got to look at, how we're doing things, and are we moving forward, and are we getting better, and is the attitude right? And again, I thought last week was as good as we've played all year with that mentality, a toughness, and a desire and a hunger across the board to go out and win.
Unfortunately, the last couple of weeks, you put us at a couple bad punts. Is anything technique-wise?
We talked about last week. He just missed it, and and this week it was one going in. So those are different. How they hit it end over end and all that, and just missed it a little bit and cost us probably 15 yards or so. 20 yards, But he's been solid. He responded. He came back with a terrific kick right after that, and I challenged him. That was the first time I talked to him all year, and in that way, and he came back and made a great kick. So I was proud of that.
Did the film change the way you evaluated Jalen's performance at all? Or
I think you've heard me talk about it, and I make no excuses for them. We miss some throws we got to make. You know, we really do. We have to make those throws. You know, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of plays that you know, that we all can do better. But when we have opportunities, when we have shots, and we have guys open, we have to hit some of them to win games. And we're not doing that. But I do think, you know, him getting more comfortable in the pocket, scrambling, you know, buying time and throwing it on a critical third down, scrambling and converting a third down with his legs, you know, doing some things to help us move the chains is also important. And I think he's getting more and more comfortable at certain things, and he's doing a good job at certain things. And in the execution of the pass game, we need to improve. And that's on everybody. You know, there's some balls out there on the wide receivers need to go and get also.
I mean, you haven't lost many games. You've been on teams that haven't lost many games recently. You got a lot of coaches on your staff that are used to going through some of this. As a head coach, do you have to coach them as well to make sure that, you know, they keep their heads up, they're not getting too frustrated?
Definitely. You do. You do. Because
is that new for you as a head coach?
It is. And it is, and I think that's fair to say. Sometimes as a position coach, as a coordinator, you're so locked in your own thing that you have to look at the whole team. And you know, we've talked about that as a staff, and we've had a good meeting yesterday, and we have to, you know, keep on making everybody accountable. You know, we're all accountable, me included, and we say that to the team all the time. We're all in this together. We're all accountable to each other. And, you know, the mistakes, we've got to get corrected. But you also have to point out all the good things that we're doing and they're doing. And again, I think it starts with an attitude. You know, that's always the first thing. To me, that's what's most encouraging, and we got to keep on doing. That's really maybe the first time I've seen that, you know, a real tough mentality across the board. I mean, with everybody in the locker room. And that we need to have all the time. Again, they've heard me talk about this, and you have too. Without that, you have no chance of winning. With it, you give yourself an opportunity.
You had mentioned over and over about the mistakes being made, and that at times the players have reverted back to old bad habits. Have you seen those habits broken?
I see us better. I see us fighting to win, you know, through the entire game last week. We didn't make a couple plays, you know, or we have an opportunity to win. And that comes to execution, you know, and so we're not perfect. We're not there yet, but we're getting better.
This was the first time you've hired a complete staff deep into the season. Are you happy with every
I am.
guy that you?
Yes, I definitely am. I'm very confident in the group that we have.
You said a couple weeks back if Deshaun wasn't going to get the ball in offense, then he'd be moving to defenses. He didn't get any action last week. Are you ready to pull the trigger? And move on?
Well, not at this point. You know, Deshaun's gonna get his opportunities here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll see what he can do on offense. And it was great to see him back, you know, on special teams, making great plays again last week, and really playing extremely hard. And I appreciate that effort. And again, you know, that's something we'll address in the offseason and talk with him. I don't like talking about that publicly. That's a compliment to me when you're just simply saying he's a good football player, you know, and we need to find a way to get him on the field.
Mark, on that Auburn, that Hail Mary pass, it looked like the Georgia defensive backs tipped it up, which is what happened on a play we all saw here one time. As an old defensive backs coach, what do you teach on a play like that?
Yeah, that's a great point. And being a DB coach my whole career, that's always something you talk about. You know, even you know, the big thing is awareness, because that's fourth down. If they knock it down, they get it way back. Maybe in that situation, the game would have been over anyway. But you never know how much time's left, timeouts, things like that. So field position's a big deal. And always you talk about knocking it down. I know they do too. You know, I know their coaches do. You have to knock it down. Sometimes players' instincts take over, and they had two guys that are trying to make a play with great effort, and it's unfortunate for them. But I know they talk about it, and we talk about it, you have to knock it down right there. And
The coaches just ate those plays.
Absolutely. You heard me say it before, and maybe I was, maybe it was taken a little bit out of context. Those are things we all as coaches always have to get over, but it's something you'll never forget. And you have to, we tell the players to get over it and on the next play and on to the next game, and we all do that, and you really have to. You have to program yourself to move on. But I promise you they'll never forget that, and that'll be with them, thinking about that for a long time.
You ever have one like that?
Oh, absolutely. I've been there, It's just plays that just, yeah, absolutely. It's just, you play, you just see them. That's what I saw a Georgia team that just unbelievable comeback and unbelievable effort to come back and win that game, and just a fluke thing.
Coach Cal said last night, he said, we ran the same play 7 times before the game. We get to the game, and it's everything except what we practiced. When you talk about that situation, knocking it down, and you don't forget it, is that why you stay on these kids and why the fans don't understand? Why is he saying the same thing or doing that same thing?
Exactly.
The kids don't get it.
It comes down to habit. Under extreme pressure, your habits come straight to the surface, and a lot of coaches have said that, and it's very true. And that's why you constantly try to do things right over and over and over again. So then when it's just a habit, you automatically do the right thing. And that's where, I don't need to speak for Coach Cal, but he's playing with young guys, and I'm sure he'll get it straight. But that's why we do it over and over and over again. And that comes to fine balance all the time with what are we doing, how much are you doing, on offense and defense and special teams, and how much can you handle and how much can you execute for us, because there's so much that goes into it that way. And I do feel like things are, coming together. And, I really, again, go back to defensively, I'm very happy with the way we've progressed through the year and being very multiple and doing different things, and some guys stepping up and the attitude's playing better, and offensively the same way. I know, believe me, Neil and the offense coaches and players are very frustrated, but they play extremely hard. There's good plays set up. We got to make plays. They're there, and just, if you look at the last game, just because it's our last game, just look at that. They made some plays and we didn't. Give them credit. They did it. And we need to learn how to do that.
Mark, you were talking about Dylan's improvement. You referred to this, but could you explain a little bit more about his improvement or where he needs to improve on the run, pass, option, reads, and why that's so challenging for a young quarterback?
Well, it is, and and that gets back to this kind of the question you were talking about earlier there with things that are built into our system from day one. We have a run, and if there's pressure and it's coming, the pressure's coming, and you got to take it and throw the screen, and you got an opportunity for a big play. Now he's got to do that in, however long that is. With a very short amount of time with a bunch of guys breathing down his neck, he's just got to understand that that's what he's got to do. He's got to distribute the ball where it needs to go all the time, and that'll help our offense go. And we did miss a couple of those, but we are getting better in that area. And I think those are things that get frustrating. And those are things that he's got to be able to execute under extreme pressure. Whether you're on the road in a hostile environment with a bunch of big guys, blitzing you, you have to be able to make that quick decision and execute it. It's just like the interception. We got a little rushed and threw it a little high, and instead of making a catch, and if you look at that play, certainly if you watch it on film, we have a 10-yard gain. Instead, it's an interception. But that's a matter of, 6 inches, and those are things we need to execute, and it's there. If we throw that screen, again, we have numbers, it's yards. Instead, they get the ball going in.
Along the lines of forming habits, Raymond said that last week that he and some of the seniors recognize now that this was a teaching season, I think he called it. To set a foundation of those habits, that this team sort of needed to be reprogrammed and taught how to do things the way that you guys want it.
We do, and we
guys recognize that on this team.
I do. I think I do, and I think they understand that there's so much more to do, and there's so much more accountability that needs to happen in all aspects of our program. I'm part of that, and our coaches are, and so is our team.
Folks, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.